After all the investigations and all the stuff that you've read about Epstein in your career, what is your overall 30,000-foot view of who he was and who he worked for and what his motives were?
Well, the Epstein network is very similar to the network I wrote about in the Franklin scandal. Mm-hmm. And basically, Epstein, now, it's really tough to know. I've got a picture. Epstein went to Interlochen. It's an arts camp in northern Michigan one summer. And I've got the pictures of Epstein at that. And you can check it out on my blog.
Right.
But there's a little, I believe that there's a little William Barr at Interlochen at the same time. William Barr was
Bill Barr's dad? Bill Barr. Okay. Yeah.
Bill Barr's dad hired Epstein.
At Drexel. Or not Drexel. I'm sorry. The Dalton School, right?
Yes. 7 years later. And Epstein was completely unqualified. He was a college dropout.
Right.
There's no way that he should have been hired. Dalton is the preeminent preparatory school in America, or certainly one of them. And there's no way that Jeffrey Epstein should have been hired. But you can take a look at these pictures that I have, and you can compare them to Bill Barr and Bill Barr now.
Is this?
There he is. That's it right there. There's Epstein right up there.
Oh, this is the art school?
Yes, Interlochen.
Interlochen. Okay. What year was this?
This was in 1967. And
that's Epstein on the right?
That's Epstein standing up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I believe that this is Bill Barr. What's bizarre, though, is that this is a yearbook that doesn't have any names. And Interlochen has denied that Bill Barr attended their camp. They can't deny that Jeffrey Epstein attended it because he built a lodge. He gave them $500,000 to build the Jeffrey Epstein lodge.
Zoom in on him, on Epstein standing there, Steve. Wow, I've never seen this photo. Oh, nope, you had it there for a second. And then you zoomed out. There you go. Yeah, can you zoom in more on that?
Yeah, that's the extent.
That's as far as you can go.
Yeah.
There's a little Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow, man. That's
now, but check it out. Now, if you go to my website, you'll see that I've got a picture of little William Barr and big William Barr. It's right below these pictures.
Oh, right
there we go. Now check it out. Are these
Look
not?
At that.
Are these not the same guys?
Wow, dude. So Bill Barr, William Barr's dad, was the head of Dalton School.
Yeah,
that school was really fishy.
Well, it was run after Bill Barr, or Donald Barr, Bill Barr's dad.
Donald Barr's his name, yeah. And he was a weirdo. Like, he did a lot of weird shit, right?
Well, he was weird, but then the next headmaster started girls there, too.
Didn't Bill Barr's dad, who ran that school, didn't he write some, like, crazy sci-fi novels about, like, what did he write? Like, some crazy...
He wrote a sci-fi novel about intergalactic sex trafficking.
Yes, intergalactic sex trafficking.
And
there's the title of the podcast.
And he's got a very graphic description of a 15-year-old girl that's getting.
Yes, and they forced the prisoners to whatever to like this girl. We're gonna have to censor the out of this podcast, and so we don't get shadow banned. And then so they could use that as like blackmail on these guys for some other reason to gain power. But it was like it's so in line with these crazy stories that you're reporting on.
But here's the thing with this. Okay, so
and he also got people like that were supposed to go to some other we're supposed to go to Harvard. He got them like. He wrote a letter to Harvard saying these people were like crazy homosexuals and that you shouldn't admit them to Harvard because they are going to cause trouble and cause mayhem.
Donald Barr was a very strange guy. And people have wondered, was there a connection between Donald Barr and Epstein prior to Donald Barr hiring Epstein? And I believe that this is the connection. I believe that Epstein... Now, here's what's bizarre about these yearbooks. These are yearbooks that do not have people's names. These yearbooks do not have their names. Now, how weird is that?
Yeah, why wouldn't they have the names?
It's the only yearbook I've ever come across in my entire life, and I'm getting up there in years, that doesn't have names. But if you look at those two guys, okay, so you can see that go up with the the old bar and the new bar.
Yep, go down, down, right there.
There we go. There we go. So if you look at them, he grew into his ears. I used to have big ears. Yep. I kind of grew into my ears. But if you look at the nose, if you look at the dimples, I mean, that's
your guy.
Is that not William Barr?
That's William Barr, 100%. I mean, it looks just like him.
Yes.
Just like the other guy looks like, I mean, just like the other kid is clearly Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, exactly. So this is how I believe Epstein got into Dalton, is he knew the Barrs going back to 1967, and he was hired in 1974 for Dalton.
Do you think there was a plan behind bringing Jeffrey Epstein to Dalton?
It's one of those things that I just don't know.
Right.
But here's the thing. I firmly believe that Epstein was compromising these people for intelligence. Alexander Acosta was the U.S. attorney, and he was told to stand down because Epstein was intelligence. Now, there's only two people in the government that can tell a U.S. attorney to stand down. One is the president, one is the attorney general. That message can be delivered by a minion of the president or the attorney general, but it has to emanate from one of those two positions. Mm-hmm. So Epstein was locked in to some very, very powerful people, that have a lot of juice.
Yes.
And where did that nexus occur? Did that nexus occur at Dalton? Did it occur later in Wall Street? I mean, we don't know exactly.
Well, I think there's a report of one of the girls. I think he admitted to dating girls who were attending Dalton when he was a teacher there. And all the kids that went to Dalton, their parents were the who's who of New York. Those guys were high-level Wall Street investors, Hollywood people. And they were the biggest big shots in America, basically. And I recall reading a story where one of the girls who was attending there, who was friends with Jeff when he was teaching, introduced Jeffrey to his dad, who was like a really big shot investor, and then he hired Jeffrey to work for
Bear Stearns.
That was Bear Stearns, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the cover story. I don't know if, I've been looking at Jeffrey Epstein since 2012. So I've been studying Jeffrey Epstein for 14 years. Somehow he got hooked up with intelligence, and then he was on the yellow brick road. And I don't know where that occurred, but I think that the bars, those pictures that I was able to recover at Interlochen, I think that they show how it started for Epstein.
What is Bill Barr doing today? Is he still, he just endorsed Donald Trump, didn't he?
Bill Barr has been a CIA guy forever. I mean, even on his Wikipedia page, it says he was a CIA guy.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really, he's been a CIA guy forever. He was the Attorney General. Okay.
What's his title right now, though?
His title right now is,
can you find that, Steve?
I'm retired and I'm just making a lot of money doing nothing. That's
American attorney.
If you scroll down to the right, it'll tell you his current occupation. It should, at least.
I mean, he's got so many accolades.
Go back, get out of Wikipedia.
But he's represented a bunch of big companies, corporations that, I mean, he's a...
See what you can find.
He's a millionaire many times over.
Yeah.
But the thing with Bill Barr is the book that I wrote, The Franklin Scandal, A Story of Power Brokers, Child Abuse and Betrayal, which is about a child trafficking network, almost exactly like Epstein's. Bill Barr was the Attorney General under Bush 1. That covered it up.
That covered up the whole Franklin scandal.
That covered up the Franklin scandal. And then he's the Attorney General under Trump, who covers up the Epstein scandal. It's amazing that he's an Attorney General twice, and he covers up these two large interstate pedophiles.